In this video, I'm making a creepy Scooby Doo animatronic as an amusement park attraction, with not a care for the world behind his eyes. Let's begin. So I'm starting with the armature, of course, adding the back legs on here. Now I'm doing the tail, and now I'm just enforcing the spine, and now I'm adding the aluminum foil onto it to enforce the body, trying to block in the shapes, of course, and now I'm adding the clay to really give him some form, trying to block him out, giving his arms and chest some shape here, blending it. It was surprisingly hard to sculpt this. You wouldn't think sculpting a dog would be so hard, but it's really difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it was really hard not to make him look like he was goofy. Now I'm just further blocking in the small details, trying to get the wrinkles right, and you've got to remember that this is a dog suit. This is an animatronic, this is not a real dog, so if it looks weird, that's why. It's supposed to be an animatronic, it's supposed to have wrinkles. I based it off of this withered Bonnie animatronic thing that I found. So shout out to whoever made this. Now I'm carving out a foxy shaped hole on his chest, and I'm smoothing it out here. Adding in the fur details, of course. And now more of the fur knobs, of course. Just blending those together because it adds a smoother transition. And then this right here, that was a sewing tool that my grandma gave me. So I get creative with the fur textures. And then of course, just using a knife. Now I'm just trying to squash this down, just like y'all should squash the like button. Yes, sir. And then here's his chest. I'm adding in the metal plates and making this little screw texture. And here's a continuation of the fur texture, trying to get these feet looking good. And then here's the robot foot. This is the part that's exposed with no fur. I was trying to go crazy with the weathering on this one. And then just gotta slice this and you gotta cut the toes up. Now create that little indent there so you can have the toes spaced. And then this is going to be the noose around his neck. That's right. Very creepy. Very weird. And then that's the name tag. SD. Your boy, Scooby Doo. Put it right there. Now I'm assembling his noggin. So this is just all of it coming together. I kind of sped this up because it's a lot to take in. The best thing you can do is to take little clumps of clay just to form the different shapes instead of trying to do it all at once. And then here I'm blocking out the snout, I'm blocking out the nose area, and then the eyes, trying to get smoothed out. And then here I'm cutting the ear, and there's the nose again. And then here you've got the weathering, like just those fine details to show that he's rotting. And then here's some wrinkles just to add some of that creep factor. And then here's the eyeballs, putting those in there.
Wait, so you're telling me that this thing will be in an amusement park? You're telling me kids would want to see this?
Hey, kids are weird. I don't know. Maybe they would think it's cool. I don't really know what goes on in kids' heads. But I'm still blocking in the fine details. I'm using that sculpting tool again that my grandma gave me, her sewing tool. Now I'm just adding on the eyelids to our boy. And then here's a gravestone because he's in a cemetery set piece. I tried to go for making this thing as creepy as possible. I've been dealing with a lot of grief, so that's kind of the idea here. Here's a crow. That's what it's gonna turn into. Doing the beak here. And then I've got to sculpt the details on here. Give him his feathers. Hone in on this beak here with a knife. But crows, you know, they represent death, obviously. So, and then here's a pillar that I'm sculpting with some foam. Just gotta chop it up really quick. And then I'm gonna wrap some clay around it. Because if we were to paint this foam, it would be actually disgusting looking. So here we go. Now I'm adding the top of the pillars, and I'm adding the texture with the rock. Trying to make it look really like an old pillar. So I'm trying to make this thing feel really alive. It needs to feel like a real environment that you would go to a mall or an amusement park and you would see this sculpture here. And then the podium behind him is kind of like representing the cemetery sign. Like that's the entrance to the cemetery.
And now time for painting.
All right, thank you. Now I've got to apply the different base coat here with the brown. Try to match it as accurately as possible to Scooby, of course. And here's a little time lapse I did because this took forever. This shit took forever. And then here's his head. Trying to get the color down completely. Here's a side view. still getting the base coat on. It takes a long time to paint. Also, this thing is based on the bishop known as Nico, or Blurryface from 21 Pilots. I just thought it would be really cool to base it off of that thing because it basically pursues you and it has like no emotions other than just wanting to destroy you from what I've seen, and that's a pretty good representation of grief, and that's what I'm trying to channel here with our boy Scooby Doo. That's why he has that thing around his neck. So now here's his weird little chin whiskers, and I swear that's like a thing that grandmas have too. All right, and then here now I'm just trying to get the face all oiled up or whatever. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. No. Okay. Hold on. Okay, now this is the black stuff coming from his mouth, and that was inspired by Ratma.
Thank you. I'm going to leave you my business card.
Hail Ratma from VHS 94, and then here I'm adding the highlights everywhere, and then just trying to make everything pop, make it less flat. I think the more depth you have, the better. But I do feel like there's a little bit too much contrast here. But anyways, and now I'm adding some filth to the thing around his neck, and here we go. Now I'm doing the name tag, Scooby Doo, adding some grease to this as well, trying to make it look just totally disgusting. And then here's our crow boy. And then the podiums, there's something about painting it and making it look realistic that I just love. Like, look at how everything just pops. It looks like you could really go here and see these things. And that's what I'm all about. I'm all about creating an environment. And then here's the base. It's kind of like a moody blue. It's a sad blue. It's supposed to kind of feel like nighttime, as if we're about to go to sleep. And then here's the background that I'm doing, and it's that same shade of blue, and it's some hills, and then here's the sky. It's green, kind of toxic, kind of crazy, kind of fitting Scooby Doo.
Man, could you sound any more full of yourself? Like, shut the fuck up.
All right, fine. Here, you try narrating. You try. Tell him what's happening.
Hold on. I don't. Okay. He's putting some green down here, just a whole lot, just everywhere, and then here's the eye. He's got some gray on there, and they're like black eyes, and then like a black mouth, and
Yeah, you got to work on that. That was terrible. All right. Anyways, now I'm adding the highlights to make this really pop, making it look like real gravestones that you could see at a cemetery. So this is what I love about highlights. It just makes everything pop so much. Brings out the life in it. Makes it feel tangible. Like this is a place you could really go. Anyways, there it is. Hope y'all enjoy it. And if y'all liked this one, make sure to hit subscribe. And here's a recommended video for you, so check that out. You're running out of time. Hurry up, go, get it, go!